What's good, family? What's the vibes? This is going to be a very quick review, and I'm going to be talking about a few things. NFP happening Wednesday, CPI happening, price action today, the DXY, gold, and GU majorly. And yeah, that's what it's going to be. Let's get into it like ASAP. Right. So this morning I talked about how I wanted to see buying from this OB, which actually failed, and I expressed, very, very intently that this is really what I want to see. And even though we already talked about how price could fall away from here and start to return back to old lows, I'm expecting some buying to occur with this asset class. Right. Today starts the beginning of the week and not so much in terms of an economic release. So I'm really still doubting that this sell side is one that takes us back into, all-time lows. So I'm really still watching this, even though, my bias didn't play out here. And to this note, I took a trade on the live session or right before the live session, which we talked about on gold, right? Let's see if we can see that. I think I've cleared my charts, but let's see if we can look at that now. My network is actually very slow, but we should be able to work with it. All right. All right. That's really too slow, actually, but let's see what happens. Right. So that was the trade right in London session. A model I've thought very profoundly, right? Price takes out Asia's high, right? Breaks market structure, and we can trade the OB in the premium of that breaking market structure. I was selling somewhere inside of here after I break on the 1 minute, and then was able to take partials, took more as price got into a bullish order block that's here on the 5 minutes. And I was able to, get off that trade profitable. I put the remaining position at break even here, which got stopped out by this move. Right now, you would find you would find that I got into another entry. I think I posted the entry on Telegram channel. If you want to join the Telegram channel, the link is going to be in the description. Also, the Discord channel where I break down my trades and talk about, more in-depthly what I'm looking at in the markets, right? I was able to get into another trade here. And this trade just fits exactly, something I've been talking about a whole lot. Mitigation block, right? And I've explained specifically how I want to see this thing run. So price returns back into entry and stops me out, returns back lower, right? Fine, right? But doesn't take out this old low. So what are we seeing? We're starting to see a lower high formed, right? So we have low, high, lower high, right? Now, when this forms, right, or sorry, higher low, sorry. So this is a higher low formed here, right? So price doesn't take out this sell side. Now, obviously, this could just return back into this up close candle and follow. For what happens? We see consecutive candles that close above this old high, break in market structure, right? Old highs in a bullish market would act as what supports going higher. So this trade was quite simple for me and quite straightforward, even more straightforward than the trade I took earlier in the morning, and paid quite more than what I got in the morning, right? Because it was a cleaner trade, right? So this was what I was doing here. I was just putting my stops below this low, and I was aiming for equal highs and also the highs of that 4 hour high, right? Which I'm going to show you very quickly. So, like I said in the morning, these equal highs were the main reasons why I didn't get into the original entry I sent out, right? If I want to see sell side, right, I want to see a clean on this equal high. So, this trade also, like I said, I was very quick on taking partials, taking profits on it. And even though price could return back into Asia's low, which as you can see, that was the idea of this trade, I'm very good to take partials. So around here, 80% of the trade was done. 20% was the runner and price then just returned into it. So this is what we call flexibility in markets, being able to understand, where things start to change for you, right? It's something I think about a whole lot, right? I'm not trying to be right on everything I do because I know I won't be right every single time. But I want to start to understand, where does my idea go bad? And that's the really important point. Where does my idea go bad? right? So if price is going to be bearish, I want to see up close candle send price lower. So as you can see, we turn back into this bearish OB. Let me clean up the chart a little bit. Bearish OB inside of here, we drive back inside of it, and we see sell side. We come back into a bullish OB, and we can see respect. But we're not seeing price respect bearish OB here, right? Breaks through it, right? And obviously that's going to be a bullish breaker in itself, or bullish mitigation block. Mitigation block because it doesn't take out the slow, right? But still the same concept. And that was E for gold. Now I feel like I think for precious metals, I'm really not sure about those sell sides again. Like I said, that for OB was going to be my last line of reference. That's what I'm going to watch, to actually be seeing sell side. So except tomorrow we start to see something fall off, this could really just potentially start to be that buy side, right? Because as you can see, we're starting to see a lower or a higher low here, right? Low, higher low, right? And price is now breaking old highs. Market structure is actually shifting. So except we get into tomorrow and we don't take out this high, or we close up, or we take out a high with just the weeks and we start to fall lower, this is already looking very bullish. Silver also just wrapping higher, to buy side, as you can see inside of here. So as you can see, we're respecting bullish protocols going higher on these asset classes. So I'm just going to stay with that idea like that. Now let's move on to DXY, right? Okay, I think we've talked about DXY a little bit, right? But again, on DXY, I'm thinking about how we can return back into the discount part of this ranges. I don't think we're going to return back, all the way to this low. We're going to watch. And the reason for that is we have two major news releases this week. We have CPI, right, which is happening Friday, and we actually have NFP, which is happening on Wednesday. So NFP is happening on Wednesday. You want to really make sure that you have that in note. Look at this, right? So tomorrow we have secret folder news releases. I think you should have your hands on deck for tomorrow, next tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Wednesday, I would say after NFP, if you trade NFP. I don't like to trade NFP, but this is typically a different one. It's happening on a Wednesday. So I could really, be positioning to see what happens there, right? So we are having NFP this Wednesday and not last week because we had a minor shutdown happening and NFP was postponed until Wednesday. So we're going to see Wednesday actually show NFP. So we're going to see what happens, with these news releases. All of this flush happening today could really just be manipulation, right? But we're going to see how that happens. We're going to see how that happens. We're going to watch the news release to see how that happens. Honestly, right now, I'm really just going to be waiting on my hand for more information, especially on the currency type, on the currency side of things, right? I would really be patient. I want to see, if you start to see breaking market structure going all the way higher, that would really solidify maybe buy side for the dollar. But that we're going to see sell side return back all to these lows, I'm not really comfortable with that. I'm not really comfortable with that. All right, so that is that for DXY. If DXY is going to go higher, then that means that GU, right, should see a bit of sell side. Now, I talked about GU, and even though I explained, major things on GU today, I still took a loss on GU. So I took 3 trades today. 1 gold sell in the morning, 1 gold buys later in the afternoon, and I also took gold sell, GU sells, right? And this one was, journaling this one was really just, something to reflect on. It was painful, because I think I really just rushed into trying to sell this, right? And, as a trader, one of the things you want to do is call yourself out, especially when you make, mistakes that you shouldn't, right? So I talked about this morning, and I talked about how, seeing sell side breaking below this low would be reasons why I would want to start selling. Right now, going into London session, we saw that expansion. I feel a little bad because, a couple people on the channel was talking about, on the live, we're talking about, how we could see buy side for GU. And I'm sure that even though I stressed the point that go ahead with your buys, right? Some people would not just go ahead with buys because they heard me talk about me wanting to see sells, right? And that would have been a potentially very good day for them, right? And again, if you don't have your own style, right, you would fall into the hole of trying to trade other people's style. And what will happen is they might make money on other asset classes, and just the one that was actually going to make money for you you don't trade it because they said something about it. That doesn't make sense. You have to play the game to be able to long-term make money from yourself, for yourself. It's an autonomous game, right? I'm only just here to guide, give you educated advice, give you things, and just put you on the vibe to actually get better at this skill, right? So again, we see price just expand to the buy side, and I talked about this level very explicitly this morning. You want to go back and watch that video. This is a mitigation block. Last down close candle before we saw this rise up. So when we saw price return back higher, I said I don't want to see price close above this, which is why you understand that the trade was really very painful, because we already saw a close above this high, and as price was returning, I saw all of this move high, and I'm like, maybe it's still going to go lower, because I was kind of like forcing the idea that DXY is going to go higher, which is why I said, journaling this is painful, because I actually forced the idea that DXY would start to go higher at some point, instead of just waiting for the confirmations I already had. DXY already had that 4-hour bullish OB being disrespected, so why was I really trying to sell this, right? And I went into lower time frame trying to sell right at that point there where that line is. I was looking at it as, oh, okay, maybe it's just an overextension. We've closed below it again. Let's just see price return lower. And boom, it took me out for $419. Crazy. And as you can see, price is respecting those old highs to just show that this is extremely bullish. And you see the XY also just rammed to the ground. So we can see this bullishness. Now, is this going to keep going higher? Well, let's look at the daily time frame to kind of look at that, right? So what I'm really thinking about here is this. Obviously, if the DXY keeps going lower, right? If the DXY keeps going lower, this can, extremely just expand to the buy side. But for some reason, like I said, right, I'm still layering towards, sell side. So this is what I'm going to be watching, right? I'm going to really be taking my chill on this, right? So this is not me saying, oh, I know what directional bias is, I'm going to trade, right? Sometimes it's like that, but this is not that time. I'm going to be watching how price reacts as we take out this high into this OB. That's going to be really something I think about, right? Or even just this OB, right? So it's very okay if we still take out this high and we come inside of this up close candle here. That's going to mean, something to me, right? So I think we can, maybe form a Tuesday, Wednesday high of the week before we start to fall off, right? But this is what I'm still thinking about. I still feel like, this can still all the way be bearish. We still have lower highs inside of the tape. We're just having price just rebound into premium inside of here. So I really still think, and this again, as you can see, is just aligning with the bias for DXY. This is what I want to see on DXY. I want to see DXY return back higher, right? Based on the things happening fundamentally, right? We are having, strong economic growth for the DXY compared to other asset classes. If you work with the DXY, you need to work with the DXY with other currencies, other asset classes, which are the major asset classes: pound, euro, CHF, all of that, right? And if we think about it fundamentally, we are having a much more stronger dollar against these other pairs. And for these reasons, I'm sticking with, wanting to see a little bit of buy side for the dollar, right? So that's really what I'm really just playing my bias on. I know it's not so clear right now, but maybe by the end of the week, we'll be able to do a full review where I'm going to take some time. This is YouTube. I don't want to take, some time. And, if you've watched up until now, honestly, I appreciate you. If you're watching my videos, I've had a whole lot of, messages to post more on this channel. And if you are watching and just keeping tabs with this, I really appreciate you. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe so that YouTube can push this to more people. And, we can do more stuff as the year rolls by. All right. So this is it, right? This is what I'm looking at for this, but I will be taking my chill on this. So I think this is all I have, right? I'm not going into so many markets this week. I'm really just staying around, gold, GU, and just seeing how things run here, right? And I'm looking for sell side on this asset class. For gold, it's really possible that we see buy side. So if we start to see runs into discounts, you could find me buying, right? And if we don't take out these highs and we start to see breaking market structures, so really, I'm really just waiting for price to show me something very keen that I can pay attention to, right? And that's going to set me in motion for a trade. I'm grateful for the week so far, and I think we're still going to do more as a family. I'll keep my updates on the channel, on the Discord, much more full, I would say that, right? And so that we can really just move together as a team. Again, if you have not joined that channel, you'd see the link in the description below. All right, family, I'll catch you in the next one. Bless up.